Welcome back to the Treehouse, everybody. Before we got started, I'm going to have to play the classic intro, the new intro. So get ready. There we are. How's everybody doing this week? Welcome back to another live show in the Treehouse. Today we got some special guests. We got Francis Bonnet, who is an Archie author and writer, potential artist too. I'm not entirely sure. We're going to get to know all about him today. And also we got Anthony Stokes here, who's going to bring some slander. Stokes
Oh, we are
for his slander on the Twitter Spaces. And
yeah,
it's always a good time.
slander God, yeah.
How would you guys how would you guys introduce yourself to people who don't know you, who it's the first time they're meeting you? We got Mo Biggs, so hey Mo Biggs, hail the chat. He's saying hi to everybody. Francis, how would you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Francis. That's it.
Pretty good. It's the point.
So like you said, I work. I do some stories for Archie Comics. I also do my own web comic, Suburban Fairy Tales, which you can follow me on Twitter or on Instagram, Suburban Fairy Tales, and I draw and write that comic strip too.
Very cool, very cool. Stokes, how would you introduce yourself to people?
I make comic books and screenplays. I like to keep it simple.
It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. We also have Brittany joining us. How are you doing, Brittany?
I'm good. I'm in my mom's house in Michigan, actually. So for the first time, I'm on East Coast time doing this.
Oh, that's cool. I also think it's the first time we're seeing a new background. I thought that was your new place, actually. But that's
no, this is my mom's house. That's why there's a duck in the background. I don't know if you can see that.
All right. Is that a real duck?
Yeah, I think so. His name's Millardo, and he's on the lamp. I'm not sure where he came from.
And he's got JP here. How you doing, JP? Is your initials JP or is your name JP? Is that
initials? But I go by JP.
Oh, okay. Very cool. Very cool. And we got Mo Big saying Hail B Rose, aka Jughead Jr. That is right. So we got a lot of fun things planned today. Stokes is always on Twitter. Just riling people up. That's what I love. That's what we love.
Is that what I'm doing on Twitter?
And but you're always on. I think I saw you yesterday. You on for I want to say 6 or 8 hours or something crazy like that.
I don't think it was 8 hours, bro. Don't do that to me. But I think it was 5 hours.
Every time I pop in there, I just know Stokes is gonna do something on Twitter, having a space talking comics. It's super cool though. It's super cool. One thing I want to talk about is because I just was at a con. I think you were at a con. You made an interesting tweet that somebody told you that you can't make money in comics. Can you please describe this story to us, Stokes? And we'll break it down.
Okay. You should. No, absolutely. So, and this isn't just the first time I've heard this. Right? I've heard it from multiple people, but it was this older guy. He's been making comic books for a long time, and we were having an argument about independent versus mainstream. And bro was like, "Why do you make comics? There's no money in it." And I was like, you're wrong, but all right. I mean, that's the extent of it, But I'd be curious. Have you ever heard that? Has anybody else ever heard somebody say that?
Yeah,
I've experienced it.
I would say, I've heard it, but it's one of those things where I think people. I even sometimes heard the store owner randomly say some things like this too. It's like it really depends, but it's because I think there's a renaissance of indie comics, particularly in crowdfunded comics. I think that's where the real renaissance is happening right now, and that's where people I think is the opportunity to make money. Whereas I guess more traditional ways isn't really making a lot of money. It depends how big you get and everything like that. But that's what I have to say there. But there is a lot of people I can name literally off the top of my head, particularly on Kickstarter, Indiegogo, that are making a ton of money. And they're only putting out a book once or twice a year. So there's definitely ways to improve the business side of things for everybody, but there's definitely, and I think I punched back on your Twitter comment saying my favorite response is Charles Dickens has been making money, and the publishing industry has been around since Charles Dickens in the 1800s. 200 years of publishing industry is there for a reason, because it is making money, and then you can make money. You just have to know how to do it the right way. Before we get into like all this deep stuff we're talking about, Stokes, who's JP? Do you want to introduce her? Who can JP introduce her? JP, how would you introduce yourself to somebody who's never met you before?
Unfortunately found my way to be friends with Stokes. So that's what brought me here. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, I know Stokes. We, I guess we kind of grew up together. We lived in the same city. Yeah, but I became friends probably after high school. Took a little bit, but we're there now. Yeah, so
that sounds like my my friendship with Stokes as well. No,
a lot less complicated than mine with JP. I assure you.
Two things. Mo Biggs found you're scared sheepless. Is this true? Is this true, Francis? Is this you?
Yeah, that's my book. My latest book. I actually have a new one that I'm working on. It's going to be coming out probably by the end of this summer, September-ish.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
And is that an Archie thing, or is that a whole new your own IP?
No, that's my Suburban Fairy Tales comic strip. So I work on it online. I put all my stuff online, and then after about 2 years, I have enough, material that would fill a book. So every 2 years, I come out with a book, and just so happens that 2022 is going to be one of those years.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And how long have you been writing comics or drawing comics in the industry, Francis? Would you say?
So, like when you say in the industry, like professionally, I don't know. It's weird because we do, like, we all do indie stuff. So it's like, when do you say you started? Like when you made your first dollar. So I don't know. I've been doing Suburban Fairy Tales for 16 years. So 16 years, and Archie, I want to say 7 years I've been doing Archie stuff for.
Oh man, that's a lot longer than me and Stokes have been in the game. That's a lot. That's half the time we've been alive. I'm kidding. It is not.
Holy shit!
This is super cool. This is you say you're a cartoonist. This is what you picture. This is classic stuff we're seeing here, Francis. And this is also some of your Archie stuff that you do. And I see them. I started seeing these a lot after I met you. All of these like small Archie books, jumbo comics, I guess they call it.
Yeah, they're the digests.
Yeah, the digests. Yeah, and it's something that I guess that's how we met. We met at the con, Cradle Con.
Yep.
And we just hit it off. I don't know what it was about you, Francis, but we just.
It's just my good looks, I think.
We became friends. It was super cool. And I was actually just at Eternal Con the other day. Pac and I are going to Miami this weekend.
How was it? I missed Eternal Con this year. How was it?
It was a good time. I enjoyed it. It was a lot of people. It was a lot of good traffic, much more than CradleCon. And people, there were some fun events. People were going around, and a lot of the same faces I saw vendoring, but a lot of new people, new cosplays, all that fun stuff. Something I want to ask Stokes, what do you think about cosplayers?
What do you mean? What I think about? Are you fishing for something? Like,
just curious.
I've never had beef with a cosplayer. I don't know what you. I can't give you anything spicy off of that. Like. All
right. Would you have in your next con appearance? Would you have a cosplay for Decay right in your booth? That's the next question.
JP, you coming to my next con?
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's a yes.
There we go. We got that.
Funny enough, I don't know if you knew this. JP was actually the model for the cover of Decay.
I did know this just a little bit because she kept saying it.
Don't think that's what happened.
Is that on your business card?
But yeah, well, I want to jump into the can a little bit. But Mo Big saying B-Rose can't be here today because the cardiologist has staged an intervention. I don't know entirely what a cardiologist would stop B-Rose from doing that he would listen to entirely, but it is entirely possible. There's a man named here B-Rose, and there's a legend of him on this channel. He's like a mythical creature, but he gets around and he pops in every now and then. So JP, are you trying to model some more? Trying to cosplay some more? What's happening?
I am always trying to get Stokes to put me on the cover of his next issue. But that's about
why don't we put you on the next issue of something?
What'd you say?
I've been trying to get Brittany on my next issue as well, but she.
Oh, thank God.
I got to preface this. I knew JP for years before I asked her, like, yo, can I put you on the cover or something? Just, I don't know if that's something you should just ask a lot of people, right? Like,
I don't know. I think it's because I love Decay so much that you honored my passion for it and helped with being on the cover. But sure, why not? It'll be fun.
Because yeah, there's a lot of good stuff, and I just want to pull up the most recent cosplay cover I did, and it was a fun one. And you can get really creative with these, JP/Stokes. And I just want to
we
make
are
sure
a package deal.
That is not true. Not in the slightest.
And just so we're clear, you guys aren't from because I'm from New York. And I know Brittany said she's in Michigan. Where are you guys from? Just so we get place everybody.
Virginia.
Northern Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We went to the same school. Yeah, like
a little outside of DC.
Outside of DC, that is right. And then Francis is in Long Island, right next to me, actually.
Yeah.
So that is right. So this was the cosplay cover we did, and it was of my new friend Kiwi. Her name is, and we got she put on the makeup, got the dyed her hair, and then we went into the woods in the middle of nowhere, and we shot it.
Dyed her hair.
She dyed her hair. That was commitment, Stokes. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
this is just a wig. The wig she
died?
spray painted 100%. But
Wow,
an awesome shot.
It is, and we had to narrow this down out of like 100 shots, and that was tough, but we got it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But cosplays are something I'm trying to get more into. I don't really understand it, but I'm trying to understand.
What don't you understand?
I just don't get why
You
they
just dressed up like a character.
People have beef with it.
I just don't understand why they're like so popular or popping, and but I guess it's because they just wear costumes with all the famous popular.
I think it has to. Yeah, I think it has to do with just like the amount of time that people put into their costumes. It's like if you see somebody at a con and it's like, wow, like that looks like like from the movie, or sometimes even better. It's like, how did you do that? So I get the appeal of it. I mean, I couldn't have the patience or time to put into a costume, but
that's it, Francis. You convinced me. I'm gonna do a cosplay for my next con at the end of August. I'm gonna choose someone and I'm gonna cosplay them, and then maybe if I wear their costume, I'll understand them more. It's like walking.
I do have a hot take actually about cosplayers. But I think it's
only a
more.
matter of time.
I knew he would. I knew he
Worn down over time.
a little.
It's not about cosplayers themselves, but like me personally, I will. Can y'all hear me?
Oh, of course,
Yeah.
of course.
I don't know. My computer is so trash. Oh my God. Like I'm frozen. Okay, there we go. My computer's frozen. Like I there's like a couple Instagram pages that I've been asking to do interviews with, and they like, I'm a comic book creator. Like, and it's like they put me on the back burner. Like it doesn't seem like they're that like, but they will have cosplayers on every other weekend. It's like, all right, bro, like you should have me on before a cosplayer. You know what I'm saying? Like a cosplayer needs content to make content. I make the content. You know what I'm saying? That's it. That's all I gotta say. Not super hot, but
I feel like that's not really against the cosplayers though. That's just against the people who aren't accepting you for the interview. So you're a little bit
more
spicy.
of a personal vendetta.
Right.
I have no smoke with cosplayers. Like literally none. They're absolutely cool with me.
They're nice enough. They're definitely nice enough. And again, just trying to wrap my head around it. Definitely no beef yet. But if there's beef, I know Stokes will have my back. That's for sure.
No, I won't. No, I won't.
So while we have Francis, there's so many questions we can ask. But Francis, how did you get your start into writing? I think so many people are wondering how you first wrote. Not only Archie, yes, but also like what pushed you into comics and to start writing suburban fairy tales.
So I just have always been interested in comics, cartoons, animation, like that whole world. It's just like when I was growing up, there was this used bookstore like right around the corner from my house, and I go there all the time and I pick up like these old like 1950s, 60s Charlie Brown and Snoopy and Peanuts books, and they had Garfield, Calvin and Hobbes. I'd get all the classics, and I was like, I want to do this. I want to do Archie too. Like there was Archie there, and then right next door was like a comic book store too. So I was like, oh, so I'm gonna go in there, and here I am, like 7, 8-year-old little Francis going into the comic book store, and I was like, this is what I want to do. I love it, and so I just never gave it up.
That's really what it's about. Everybody I talk to is just persistence, and you'll get there. Before we go any further, I want to say that Mo Big saying Kiwi wasn't the only green-eyed monsters in these woods. She was the cosplayer. I don't know what the other green-eyed monster would be. Maybe Brittany knows. Maybe she can.
Why would I know?
we got Dean said, "Comics man, how you doing? How you doing?" He is from the land down under, and do you know where that's from, Stokes?
Australia.
That's right. That is right. You got it.
How did I get that one?
That's that really is what it is. And Dean is our friend from Australia, and he's always around. But it's one of those things about how people get their start. Was that similar to you, Stokes? Like, how did you get you first like really knew you wanted to do this? Were you just always a fan?
I would consider myself a storyteller. Like I just love telling stories.
Right.
And comics was just the easiest thing to do with my resources at the time. If I had $10 million, I would have made a movie. But I had less than that. I made a comic book while also having a massive appreciation for the medium. So no, I think Francis' story is a lot like more wholesome, and mine's a little more cynical than his.
No, I agree. I'm kind of the same way. I didn't, I used to read comic books. Mo Big saying Armand's trivia is getting out of hand. It hasn't even begun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, trivia
is always out of hand.
It hasn't even begun.
You have trivia, bro?
I know that.
No, Armand's trivia is just when he asks somebody directly just a super random question. Like, do you know who the green-eyed monster is? Or what's your beef with cosplayers?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Makes sense.
But no, because one of the things about I read comics when I was a teenager, but I really got into it very recently, a few years ago. Right before I met Brittany, actually, I read Monstrous and a few other of the indie titles that were coming out. And I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. I think there's something here. There's something here that wasn't there before. And then COVID happened, everything shut down, production line, and we just had so much creativity, it bursted, and that's really what led the way. I know Brittany used to watch cartoons when she was younger. And then during the commercial breaks, she hated the commercials so much she would draw cartoons on her notepad, and that's how she got into. Is that true? Is that a true story, Brittany, or did I just make that all up?
No, that's true enough. I would pause it and then draw it, so then the commercial would be done, and then I could fast forward through it. So slightly more nuanced, but the basis was right.
There we go. And then JP, we all, it was my question I still haven't had answered is what is your connection to comic books, and what did you first start liking comics?
It's really just Stokes. I mean, I'm more like the novels. Yeah, don't give him that much credit.
When was the last time you read a novel, JP?
On the plane.
You couldn't do anything else. You literally couldn't do anything else. You read a novel. Go ahead.
I could have watched a show. I'm more into fiction stories, novels and stuff. Yes, Stokes. I go through phases of reading, and I have been in an off phase for a while. But Stokes has always given me his scripts to read, and then so really his comic was kind of the first one that I I guess I actually physically had and I guess read. You know, I like shows that are based off of comics, like The Walking Dead and stuff. But as far as into the comic world, it is all new because it's just been what Stokes has kind of been creating. So
you're in for,
I
for
like
a
tapping
long.
into.
You're in for
Sorry, go
a,
ahead.
you're in for a wild ride, that's for sure. And then you're just
Yeah.
starting to get into it. I feel like there's so much more to explore. And I know Stokes is already come up with some crazy new stories. I know that.
Yeah, I gotta send it a new
Always.
shit.
Mo Biggs says B-Rose hated the cartoons. He was only watching for the candy commercials. That describes B-Rose's childhood.
What the fuck is going on, bro?
on?
Like, what is this? You have lore? you have YouTube lore?
Way too much lore.
What is going on, bro?
Oh man, if B-Rose comes into the live chat, you better believe that's gonna be a huge sighting and spotting, and then people get really riled up. You know what I'm saying? People get really riled up if he comes in.
Yeah,
But
you could definitely describe it as a huge sighting for sure.
but yeah, you know, and it's something that you know, when we talk about, you know, where the future of comics is headed, I think it's a whole new path that are being trailblazed by these newer creators, but even France, I would consider is a newer creator. You know, starting to do more of your own IPs. By new I mean like new IPs, pushing out new stories, new characters, different voices of storytelling, and I'm excited to where it's gonna go. And look no further than you know, if you want a new story, then Stokes' Decay. Isn't that right, Stokes? Look no further than right here.
Hey, you know I got issue 3 up, bro.
Is it? Mo Biggs will find it. If it's up, Mo Biggs will find it. But I will say that Mo Biggs is also saying, "Oh man, Brittany went straight for the jugular." That is true.
Yeah, bro. You need to show the issue 3, bro. That's where we're at now. We moved on.
We're no longer on issue 2. Let me click this Anthony D. Stokes over here, and hopefully I'll find it.
It's pre-launch.
Oh,
yeah. Let me see.
So where would I? So I don't even know how to find. Would I just? Let me see here. I know exactly. I know how to find it. I would just go into Twitter, and then I know Stokes. Stokes is the one who tells me how to do all my Twitter posts. Isn't that right? You taught me Twitter, so.
Yeah, I would describe myself as a Twitter guy. Some people might disagree.
Certainly.
What'd you say?
I said you certainly try.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter way too much. It's like part of my job essentially. Like I put like a professional Twitter space host. It's a double-edged sword, we'll say.
But I think it's good. Like we were talking about how, you know, people have Facebook, people have Instagram, people have YouTube, you have Twitter, you know, and I don't see anybody else on Twitter doing these Twitter spaces for hours and hours on end, which I think is awesome because that means anybody can just jump in, like, you know, whenever they have their time. I think that's the beauty of it. Mo Biggs is saying, sign up for the Elixir #1 mailing list. That is right. Mo Biggs always is there to remind me because we are launching Elixir when we get back from Miami in a week or two. So in the next 2 weeks, this will be launched for sure. And then I just want to finally found this thing. It was on his Twitter. Decay issue 1 through 3. All I know is pain, and this I think is JP on the right. Is that fair?
Yeah, kinda. It's a different artist. This is like a picture. Huh?
Same character.
He got the curls, I think.
He got the curls.
Yeah.
They got the curls right. That was really good. Even the first artist, but it still looks good.
Very cool. And just so I understand, it's a comic book about love, despair, grief, and revenge.
Yeah, revenge. Yeah.
These are that is specifically vague enough that, you know, it kind of you know, satisfies people, but then it intrigues a little bit. But what would you describe as the core of Decay? And of course, I have read issue 1 at least of Decay. But what would you say is so special about this story, Stokes?
I would say it's a revenge story, and it's really about grief, you know, and everybody deals with grief, especially coming off the pandemic, you know, like everybody's dealt with it. So it's universal. It's got everybody could relate to it. You know what I'm saying?
I also just realized that I doxed myself because I'm not following this page
Yeah,
yet.
click that motherfucker, bro.
Just
You
for-
already know.
For you,
Yeah.
I did. I honestly thought I did stuff. I don't know what happened there. I'm gonna chalk it up to a Kickstarter glitch over there.
Trying to dig yourself out of a hole with this one.
You know what? Can I tell y'all a story, bro? Like I do these podcasts. I did so many podcasts leading up for Decay issue 2. Didn't do this one. We'll do another one for issue 3. And people would pull up so you have a Kickstarter, you know, and they pulled the Kickstarter and they weren't backing. And it was one that had 2 other guest podcasts or Kickstarters up, and they backed both of theirs and didn't back mine. And it was like, I won't say a humbling experience, but that shit kind of hurt. That shit kind of hurt for real. So
I know that. Brittany knows
That's where-
exactly that feeling. Is that right?
That's where the grief and despair come from.
yeah, trying to get people to sign up for your Kickstarter. Yeah,
really chance, really, you know,
a lot of despair.
A lot of despair.
We will combat the despair with a little bit more JP model action. I believe this was the one that JP modeled for. Is this the one? Is this correct?
That is the JP.
That is it. That is what. JP, can you like put like the same like, you know, pose for us with the
I
hands?
honestly didn't even do the pose. I just sent Stokes a picture of myself and the artist did it. But let's see. Holding up some stuff here.
Wait, let me get this.
And he's like,
Oh
"I'm
yeah.
I have like
That's-
part of my face covered. Here we go.
we can see it. It's a striking resemblance.
Yeah, definitely. It's like my doppelganger.
You know, and one of the things of why Stokes refers to himself and is arguably called by I guess a good amount of others, the Twitter god, is because he does these hot takes that he backs up. And not a lot of people back up their hot takes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And with good logical reasoning. And you know, it's one of those things where Moby's saying, all I know is pain, and he means it. That's right. That is right. He does mean it. And it's one of those things where you do back up everything. And again, I talk to a lot of people, and they all make some wild assertions from time to time. Brittany knows I make my own assertions from time to time. And at the very least, you back them up, Stokes. So props to you. Props to you. What's been happening? You know, most recently that's got you riled up, Stokes.
Well, it literally changed from day to day. Frankly,
it really does.
It really like it, but it's good because then we can talk about it in the space. So it's kind of like a perpetual, you know, it's like a hamster on a wheel, essentially. No, there's no money in comics really did like piss me off. Like it really did piss me off. And I think when you say a hot take, my thing with the hot take is there's a time to be respectful, right? Like on this podcast, you know, there's 4 other people, you should be respectful, you know. And then there's you have a logical trail, like you make a logical argument A through Z, and then you make your thesis, right? A hot take is just putting the thesis before the A through Z and then explaining. That's all it is. You're not just saying stupid shit that you don't believe in. You're just like, Black Panther was mid, boom, and then you say, okay, pacing was bad, you know, blah blah blah, you know, hypothetically. And then so that as far as the hot take point, and then also my strategy is kind of just to talk a lot of shit, and then people will buy the book to see like this guy know what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like
that is true.
It works out that way. But the comment about not making money comics, it kind of pissed me off because one, it's super vague. You know what I'm saying? Like, does that mean revenue? Does that mean profit? Does that mean a living? A lot of these professional comic book people saying this, like, well, you're perfect, like you make a living off comics. This is your main source of revenue. What do you mean there's no money in it? And it's so discouraging. I think it'd be more productive to say it's hard to make a living comics. You know what I'm saying? I think it's more productive to say, here's what I do to make that helps maximize my profits. Here's the hard things that I didn't do. So I made that and I tweeted out, you can make money in comics just to like get more engagement, keep the wheel spinning. And this one dude was like, well, I didn't. And I said, oh man, it's unfortunate. Was there anything you could do better? Bro didn't even fucking respond.
They never do. They never respond with a smart, thoughtful response. But based off when somebody says that it's hard to make, it's hard. It's literally hard to make a living doing anything.
Exactly.
It's hard to become a lawyer. It's hard to become a doctor. I have all these friends I talk to. The struggle is real, but it's like you get to choose what you want to struggle towards or what goal you want to reach, or strive for. And I think that's okay too.
Right.
Mo Biggs is saying there's no money in comics, quotation marks. Has that dude never heard of money laundering? That is true. There's lots of me and Mo made up. Mo, do you remember it was called it wasn't Lunar Bucks, it was something, instead of bookmarks, we called it buck marks. We would just be literally giving people like $1 if they made a certain stretch goal. Every physical backer would just get like $1 or something, and then they can use it as a buck mark. That's more advantageous than
that guy might be on the FBI watch list. I'm watching.
Then,
Old boy might be on a watch list. Yeah, I don't know about him.
Then instead of giving people bookmarks, you might as well just give them like an actual dollars because there is something about going around the comic community that people don't want to see bookmarks anymore. They don't want to see stickers. You have to get more creative, Stokes, with your
people love who doesn't love stickers? You know what I'm saying? Like who the fuck?
Yeah,
I love stickers.
Whoever did that research,
I have stickers. Yeah, I don't know, Armin, if you remember at my table, I was giving away stickers. I might even give you a sticker. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was not that we don't like it; it's that people wanted more, newer, grandiose stretch goals, and there are people trying to look for what those are, and just trying to always be on the cutting edge of creativity. I know people are trying to make, it doesn't have to be crazy like a plushie, but it can be, like I think standees were cool, little like plastic things, keychains. I made some keychains for Elixir, like different fun stuff like that. Something a little different.
Did you say a stretch goal of yours was essentially to give away $1?
Exactly, Stokes. Exactly. That's exactly what we. Again, it wasn't. It was Mo Biggs' idea here, and he says yes. The buck marks are one of my illegitimate children. So it's something that
you might stop listening to that guy. There ain't no money in comics. You listen to that guy. No, that makes sense. No, that does make sense. If you're paying for a $10, if you convince somebody to buy a $10 book and give them back $1, like there is some logic in that.
I think there's also, it might be something different that I think people could just be happy with. Oh, they got $1 back. It's like if you have like 50 or 100 backers and you're making how many more grand over your goal. Give $100 back to the backers. You know what I'm saying?
Money back is money back.
Or a bookmark.
Exactly. Movies saying, don't let stickers keep you stuck in the past. Bookmarks divide us. Sticker marks are the future. Again, Mo Biggs is always on the cutting edge, like we all are, or like we all try to be here. You know what I'm saying? We all try. Sucks as environment.
Yeah, I don't know about Biggs, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know about Biggs.
But yeah, friends, what do you say to people who say there's no money in comics? Being a professional as you are, we're all big Riverdale fans. I know Brittany can't stop watching Riverdale. Archie Andrews,
last season coming up.
I'm not a Riverdale fan. Don't speak for me. But shouts out to Francis for sure.
Well, I have nothing to do with Riverdale. Yeah. I just work on classic Archie. All right. So if you're not, it's not that you can't make money in comics. It's that maybe you need to try a different approach. So like one thing, and this was told to me by like another cartoonist. They said, like, when I first started out, like, if you're doing a comic strip, and this applies mainly to comic strips, but it could apply to anything. If you're doing a comic strip and, your idea is passed on by, the editor, publisher, the syndicate, well, then that idea maybe isn't working. So why don't you try a different idea? So, as creators, like, we have like lots of ideas, lots of different stories that we want to tell. So, try something different, try a different approach. Like, you can't keep doing the same thing and expecting the same results. So, it's persistence. It's like changing it up a little bit. And eventually you're going to find that thing that works for you, So I did a lot of other comic strips before I did Suburban Fairy Tales, and none of them really caught on. And then I did Suburban Fairy Tales, and well, it's catching on.
There we go. Well, that I do know that I do know that Francis' table is very crowded at the con, and I want to kind of talk about Stokes' con experience in a second here. But I don't know how I missed this. But Mo Big said the K number 3 is already a hidden gem, the best kept secret on this channel, and I think he was referring to. I don't know. How do you feel about that, Stokes? How do you feel about it's already a hidden gem? You know what I'm saying?
I have no idea what he's talking about. Respectfully.
No, but it's cool. I think he was talking about I couldn't find the link. I think that's what he's probably
okay. Yeah, about. I should have got that to you beforehand, but I'm so out of promotion mode. Like I'm chilling, bro. Man.
When is this launching, by the way?
This is launching end of October.
Got it.
Was that the same length apart from like issue 1 to issue 2? Seems like that
issue
was
2 was 6 months because I had a mental breakdown trying to fulfill issue 1 to 2. But now I know what I'm doing, So yeah.
There you go.
4 months.
And you're trying to do more this year, right? We're trying to ramp up the production. I think that's what we were all trying to.
2023 is when I'm kind of like going for the gusto. I'm going to try to do 3 releases a year. And the idea is to kind of get a system down so that you get into a rhythm and you can optimize the process to get more things released.
Right. And so you're not going to be standing side by side with me and Brittany as we launch 1 a year. I mean, 1 a month for the entire, so 12 a year.
Fuck no. I don't know how y'all. Hey, shouts out to y'all, man. And that's kind of what I wanted to get into at some point. Is just what are the results like? That's crazy.
We'll definitely have to ask Brittany how many folders she has to organize, how many notes she has to track.
Every time I get a new Google folder, there's tears in my eyes as we try to do this.
It's so many stories, so many things to kind of keep track of. But actually, you mentioned, Stokes, about getting the process and production down, but actually, I just want to see. Mo Biggs is saying something, and we gotta say, yeah, the hidden gem column was back when we couldn't find a new campaign, and then we got some fire in here, but we're gonna put out the fire real quick here. It's like I like the Stokes dude, but this don't listen to Biggs mentality is likely to keep him in that only guy not getting backed by the host status. Bada bing, bada boom.
Hey, pull up that issue 2 Kickstarter and see how much money they brought in real quick.
That is true, and that's one of the things that we all, I think a lot of people like about you, Stokes, is because you not only put up, not only you speak, a lot, but you also put up the good numbers and, you show the results. And
God help if I didn't put up the numbers. Like, oh my God, that'd be a disaster, wouldn't it?
But that's it's absolutely true. And let me pull this.
Don't pull it up.
I already had it up, so I already had it.
Pull that shit up, bro.
I definitely want to show 233
our
backers.
friend who showed you his bank account.
It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. This is public.
Also, so because I know you got Lost Magic 3, and I was about to package your thing. Do you have the first 2 books? That was my question to you. Should I just throw them in there?
I'm shit. Yeah, if you want.
I will do it. I wasn't sure. I just wanted to ask you. I'll package it. I'll throw in some extra goodies just for you, Stokes. Maybe
this is a great show, man. I got a new follower on my campaign. New op in the comments. 2 new comic books. Like this is lit. This is the best show ever.
That's how we do it. Exact quote. We're gonna put it on our list of blurbs to promote the show, our marketing campaign on our trailer.
Blurbs. I'm still convinced you've made up.
Actually, no, but there are new people coming in, and I can't wait to quote them. And that's going to come up in this new campaign. But it's like people who like talk to me, like I quote, even though they don't write them, like I kind of use it as well. And then however best my memory serves that quote, they say okay, we're all good for it. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yeah, sure.
However best it serves. They're like, oh yeah, it was pretty good. You're like best comic I've ever read. That's what they said.
Yes, Stokes. So you said you had a question about getting into the one a month. I'd love to do it. It's my favorite thing to talk about. It actually is not, but it's something that I do like to kind of push for. Moby is also saying, let's look at B Rose's results for Cerebro. All I know is pain. He's referring to your campaign name, and then he's like, I cyberbullied B Rose to success. This is absolutely true. So part of the lore about B Rose is that it literally pushed him, propelled him to his first campaign. I think now it's just about to break the 11K mark. And he's been, he just launched this year in, I think it was January or February. So like halfway through the year, he's breaking on 11K, and it's because of all this lore that people are just spouting off about him and growing this myth. Not too much unlike you, Stokes, with your slander. And before we get into, I know we threw out this word. The first time you guys kept saying this word, I had no idea what you were talking about. I know Brittany's lost, maybe Francis. Brittany, what is slander?
JP knows.
Before JP tells us, what do you think slander is, Brittany?
I think it's when you say something that's like incorrect, right? It's like bad but not true.
That's you're using the newspaper definition of like the legal definition.
That would make sense. Yeah.
You're not using the slang. You're not using the DC slang that JP and Stokes grew up with.
It's not DC. We did not grow
I
up.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Stokes is the one who's really out here using it because that's just the Stokes thing to do, slandering people.
Yeah. So, I guess I got slandered a lot. Let's be clear.
So what is the most straightforward definition of slander we can get, JP?
Let me say that Brittany is right. That is the legal definition of slander.
Yeah, I got the dictionary definitions.
Yes, you're not wrong.
That's why I'm the editor.
Right. Slander is essentially just talking shit. Like that's essentially.
That's what I was gonna say. Just straightforward talking shit.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and it's usually harsher. It's usually made to be entertaining, right? Like it's not like trying to be just mean. That's part of it, but it's really trying to be entertaining or informative. You know what I'm saying? Like at least how I use it. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know that everyone uses it that way.
Yeah, probably not.
In an entertaining way.
So it happens to be entertaining.
So now Brittany's gonna start slandering people left and right now that she finally knows what she's always been doing.
I did it. I slandered somebody, but it was entertaining, so it was good.
That's the formula.
And you know, and Stokes again. Stokes has a Twitter space almost every day. I almost never know what it is, but I do know when I go on. Chances are there's a 50-50 shot. Stokes is there with a slander space, a Twitter space, just going off. So if you really want to really test your mettle, you really want to try to level up in your slander game, hang out in Stokes' Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Is that a fair thing to say, Stokes?
Yeah. I mean, follow the campaign first, and then go ahead and hop on Twitter, and come to the slander space. Absolutely.
She let me see. She slandered B Rose earlier with that huge citing comment. That is true.
What does that mean?
But only in the slang sense. That is true.
I like the subtle slander.
I'm gonna try to message B Rose. Maybe he'll pop on. He's always like just running around, but
who is B Rose? Because I feel like I've heard this name before. Is he on Twitter? Has he ever been in your space?
You would never have never have heard of this man.
Okay.
There's no reason for you to have heard of this man. I think he's only in the YouTube indie comics space. He's around. He's known. But there is besides that, and mostly as a passing joke. Again,
he really is just like a mythical creature. Maybe we'll see him. Maybe we won't.
Exactly.
I actually don't think I've ever seen him. There's so much lore.
He actually okay. Well, I'm always saying if you go to KFC in the state of Texas, you might see his picture.
Band?
This is slander, by the way, for those who didn't
slander to the
for those that needed the definition, that needed an example. This is it.
Visual learner. This is
now
it.
I got it. Now.
Yeah.
Cool. I told him to pop in if he's around, and we'll see. And the ardent time that Jay Ryan is saying, I claimed this chat for Mo. That is right. again, a lot of these jargons I myself don't understand, but Brittany knows all of them, so that's why we kind of have her here. Kind of.
I do.
kind of make sure everything's going straight out. Brittany, why are you back in Michigan?
Oh, well, because my mom just moved, so I was helping her move, and then she had her 50th birthday, so I showed up for that.
That's right. And you said the guest list was so tight that it was so exclusive.
It was not
my invitation was just not going to
It was
happen.
just lost in the mail. I tried. You know what? The post is still fucked up. I tried to send it like 10 weeks ago. It just didn't get there. I think Heroes snatched it out of the sky.
that is possible. That is possible. One of the things is that Brittany comes. Are you in Michigan or are you from Pennsylvania? I'm confused.
Yeah, my mom moved from Pennsylvania to Michigan.
Okay. Because in Pennsylvania we were going to we're going to go to haunt some haunted houses. We were going to scare the ghosts.
You were going to scare the ghosts.
Yes, exactly.
With the Slander?
Oh, we going to Slander the ghosts? That would be awesome.
But what was it called? Penthurst Asylum or something like that?
It's a really good one.
It's apparently like a really scary haunted place.
There's a lot of ghosts to Slander in there. They've got like 7 buildings.
And we were going to try. Yeah, we were going to try and ghost hunt, but also scare. It was gonna be a fun time. But now I guess she's in Michigan now. We'll have to find some place near there. Or you'll still come down. You'll still come down to Pennsylvania.
No, I can still. Well, because I live in LA, so I would have to make a trip anyway. So we might as well just go.
All over.
This Brittany lore is pretty deep too.
Yeah, there's a lot of lore that like I just forget things I said to Armand that he just brings up. And then some things he just says that like aren't true, and I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll roll with it.
I have. I would say that I have a great memory. It's almost like a party trick when I meet people. They don't understand. But then I'll like reiterate the same things that they thought. They like throw away a line and I'll bring it back to them like 5 months later and they'll be like, what? And then it's one of those, it's like a superpower, you know what I'm saying? So be careful what you say around me, Stokes, because I'll always remember it.
Never.
You never forget, like an elephant.
Exactly. Just like an elephant. We got Neostars here saying, ghost hunting. That is right. And he's saying Brittany, this is your favorite. This is your fan here. How do you
Riser man again? He's back.
Will you say his Green Lantern pitch here?
Oh, am I reading it?
Yeah.
Okay. The brilliant star that shines through the night, the hot meal that stuffs your guts, Riser Man stands before you. What am I reading?
It's his character. It's his comic character, Riser Man. You know how people have like the catchphrase, like intros, like Green Lantern does? He created his own for Riser Man and changes a little bit in between. But
I was just going to say, I was like, that's not the same one I read last time.
It only changes just a little bit. Moby saying you can always tell when B-Rose ate the chicken because no bones are left behind. That is true. We started at the beginning. Otherwise, some of this doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying, Stokes?
It still makes sense. But go ahead.
So when we say B-Rose crashed a party disguised as catering to Brittany's mom's birthday. You said it was her 50th birthday. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. So big party. And then B-Rose came in saying, "I'll take it from here." All right. So and then he was found out because he was found eating all the chicken. So he could not help himself. He got to all security, and then he literally destroyed himself. And then he's clipping all of Brittany's readings for his trailer. That is true, Brittany. He's basically clipping means he's taking your audio recording and he's going to put you in his trailer, and that's what we do here. You know
I thought he meant a literal trailer. It sounded more devious in my head.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like an RV on the wall?
Yeah. It was. Yeah. Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot. There was a lot to unpack.
This is the indie community. You know what I'm saying? This is the indie comic community. I will say that. Green Lantern ? Exclamation point. You insult me, pal. I do intros, not creeds. That's right. It's an intro, not a creed. And maybe there's a difference. I don't know. Maybe Stokes has something to say about that. Maybe not. But
I think this is a part of the indie community that I didn't know existed that I will now be running from.
Stokes is confusing Neostar for Phoenix.
I didn't
That
say
is
anything
true.
about Neostar. Oh no, I guess I did say he sounded like a serial killer, but
Oh
yeah,
man,
fair
man.
enough. Wait,
Stokes
who's
is friends with
Phoenix?
Slander tonight. That's for sure. That's for sure. And that's why we like.
Yeah, people
that's why
just
we
keep popping up.
This is a can of worms. Like I'm like, what is? When do we get to the bottom of all these comments? Like,
there's definitely there's too much to wade through. But you just have to
At the end
accept
of the day,
it for
you
what
just
it
gotta
is.
hope you don't end up in a
And
trailer.
then, yeah. Brittany, how have you survived these comments these past few weeks?
You know, I don't know. I just keep going through. I've got too many Google folders to like really let anything set in.
So okay. So one last piece of lore before we get out of it, because
God, no,
because,
not
because
one last
something.
piece of lore.
So Phoenix is B Rose's like partner in crime almost, and they have it. They actually do have a show together on YouTube, and part of it, you know, all you need to know about Phoenix is that, as Dina's saying, Phoenix is a serial killer. So the fact that when you're saying Neostar, you know, and then we're saying Phoenix is Bureau's sidekick, who's a suspected alleged. That's right. We don't want to get into any legal trouble by Phoenix himself. Alleged, you know what I'm saying? And then Stokes, don't walk, run away from these.
the FBI is all aware of these guys. It's all good.
So yes, that was some fun times. I always like to kind of you know, we'll do a little more trivia before we end this, but you know, I like to how do people like find how can people find you? Just say where people can find you, you can promote yourself, what you're working on, maybe where people can kind of, you know, because hopefully there's some new fans of you guys. We'll start with you, Brittany. How can people find you?
Just find me here in the treehouse, I guess,
That is
slandering
right.
people.
That is the right answer.
Just on Instagram as always.
I have a surprise for you, Brittany. I chose a new headshot photo for you,
Yes.
for your you know, in the credits page section of the Kickstarter. I chose a new one, and it's gonna, and I can't
I just
wait
want to be surprised by it. Yeah, I can't wait to see what it is.
I had to dig deep to find one of these photos, but it was
How deep did you see? I'm a little alarmed, but all right, we're gonna ride that.
We're gonna be okay. It's gonna. If anybody wants to see this photo, by the way, it's gonna be on next Wednesday.
Can I see this photo?
next Wednesday.
You said you wanted to be
the launch
surprised.
This is too big of a surprise.
It is a launch of Rush New York City, and it's one of those things where we're gonna be fun about it. And before we get out of here, Stokes, we need to get your opinion on New York City, because that's what this whole next comic book is about. But nobody's saying there was still hope for Stokes, just like there was hope for young Luke Skywalker in Star Wars: A New Hope. Francis,
there's no hope for him. What was the question?
Francis, where can people find you, Francis?
On Twitter at Francis Bonnet, and Instagram at Suburban Fairy Tales. And at my house where I am right now.
There we go. Are you going to? When's your next con? Will you be at Tropicon?
I'm not going to be doing any. I'm not going to be doing any cons for a while. I have a baby coming in September. Well, yeah, you couldn't tell. Like I'm pregnant right now. And my wife and I were expecting, so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a couple of months off. So probably the next one I'll do. I don't know. I was gonna do New York Comic Con, but I don't even know if I'm gonna do that.
CradleCon next year. I'll see you there.
Yeah, definitely CradleCon, and probably EternalCon next year, and you know whatever else pops up. I have nothing scheduled right now.
How many kids do you have, Fred? I know I met your daughter. How many other kids do you have?
Just one. I have her, and then now I have a second one coming.
Okay.
Yeah, she was helping me at my table. Not my unborn child, my born child.
The distinction, that's definitely. Is she and she's a fan of Archie, I imagine. Is that true?
Yeah. She doesn't watch Riverdale though. I'll be honest. I haven't watched Riverdale either. I only read like Archie comics, like classic Archie comics. I haven't seen, but I did watch Sabrina on Netflix. I like that.
Okay, but friends, how do you know if they're taking your ideas and running? You know, how do you know if they're jacking you off?
I mean, it doesn't matter because you know it's not like you're gonna get paid for it. So,
but you can still, you know, there's still some honor in it. You know what I'm saying? There's still some honor.
There is. I don't think that. I mean, I don't think they are like. I'm doing classic Archie, so it's so. I've seen I don't watch it regularly, but I've seen a few episodes of Riverdale. It's so different from classic Archie. that I mean, I just don't see them taking some of my ideas and putting them there. But who knows? I mean, they could be.
That's right. That is right.
I would like to think they'd tell me if they were, but
that is right. You know who's gonna find out for you? Mo Biggs. Mo Biggs might be able to find out if there's any
a little detective work there.
There's any scandalous things happening. You know, maybe there's some slander in the Riverdale space and in the town of Riverdale.
Well, in the show, I'm sure there's lots of slander going on.
Oh, that's for sure. I saw the first 2 seasons, and I do have to catch up on it. It's just been a while since we got. Let me see what's Mo Biggs saying before we get to Stokes here. Mo Biggs saying, with a new baby on the way, I'm not even going to try to explain the James lore. Oh, that's right. There's a time and place. That is right. Mo Biggs. Not this is not the time for that. And no more lore. I promise Stokes here. I promise Stokes no more lore. Man, oh man, I'm gonna try to maintain a little kayfabe, and I wind up scaring the panel. I'll see myself out. That's right. Wait, you aren't all watching Riverdale, but they all have superpowers now for reasons. I did not know this. That would be wild.
I'll never know.
I know in the later seasons, it's gotten a little different than the first few seasons. So I did not know they had powers now, though. Actually, it makes me want to watch it. It sounds interesting.
You know, I think I do know that they did a time jump, so they're not in high school anymore.
High school, yeah.
So yeah, but all the shows change when they get out of high school, and not a lot of times.
And I know they had Sabrina on because in the Netflix show after that ended, they did like a time jump, and I know that she was in a few episodes. Was it last season? Can't remember.
Well, I'm gonna have to watch, and we're gonna have to watch and figure it out. And I'll have to keep. We'll have do some detective work and get back to you, Francis, as to crossover.
Am I thinking of the right Riverdale? Because I think I watched the first season, but then the superpowers comment threw me off. Is this the one where, like, in the first season you have the twins, and then there's like a murder?
Yep, exactly.
Season 1.
Okay. And okay, I didn't watch the other seasons yet, but the
this
superpowers
is the guy
one
from
it didn't seem like a show with superpowers.
This is a guy from The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody. Stokes remembers this.
I do remember that.
I not only met both the brothers, I went to college with them. So yeah, big fans and cool to see him, still doing stuff there.
It's fun that you went to college with them.
That is right. There were not just one of them, there were 2 of them.
They are twins.
Twins. Yeah, there's usually 2.
Yeah, I know. He says it's starting to sound like I watched Riverdale. Okay, so I watched some Riverdale. I haven't watched all Riverdale.
What if Moby's saying, what if a Riverdale junket starts eating a bunch of hamburgers and there's not even a listening for Francis there's not even a listing for Francis in the special thanks section of the credit? That is true. What if he starts eating a bunch of hamburgers? You know what I'm saying?
You know what?
I think they replaced his hunger for hamburgers to hunger for the truth, and that they made him like an investigative journalist. And it was a lot of people were not happy about that. But
I could be wrong, but I think Jughead has eaten hamburgers in the comics before.
He has.
I started writing, right? Is that a thing? Yeah.
I think that's like his defining trait. I'm pretty sure.
We
not
like
an Archie expert.
You, Francis. We like to think it was you. Same here. I'll take the classic Archie over River Degrassi any day. That's a show I have not heard in a while, but maybe there's some Stokes slander for the Drake there. I don't know. We'll have to find out in a second. It started to sound like Francis does watch her.
Yeah, I was saying like I've seen some Riverdale, not all. I don't watch it regularly. We'll say that.
Archie also fought in a war. Comes back a WW2 war vet. I guess no joke. If Ardentize J. Ryan says it, it's got to be true. It's got to. I know JP listens to everything she hears on the internet, and it's for good reason. Wait, Francis didn't invent that? We don't know what Francis invented. I'm glad the Sprouse twins are doing so well. What did you invent, Francis? If you could have one, tell us one thing you invented in the Archie universe.
I mean, Archie's been around for 80 years, so it's like hard to invent anything. I mean, I've invented stories and new scenarios, and actually one of my favorite stories was when they went to like a deserted island, Archie and Jughead. So did I invent them going to a deserted island? Maybe.
There we go.
They ate coconuts.
If we ever see them on a deserted island, we know it was Francis. All right, everybody. We know if they ever go on a show and we know for a fact. And then Mobig saying, even if you didn't, still nobody writes a Jughead hamburger scene like Francis. That is right. A Jughead is essentially Shaggy Rogers. And I don't know what the Zit Remedy was the best band ever. Stokes, where can people find you?
Thank God we got over the fucking Riverdale lore. They can find me at Stokes the Writer on Twitter, and then Instagram at Decay Comic. That's my Instagram.
Is that actually your Instagram?
Decay Comic. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I thought it was like Ann Stokes or something like that.
No, nobody cares about
what do people call you? What do people like? Do people call you Stokes, Anthony, Ant Man, Tony Gonzalez?
No, you're getting further and further away. The first four, yes.
Oh man, look who was here! Look who's here! Just as we're ending, we're leaving. Be the man, the myth, the legend. B-Rose himself comes, and oh man, B-Rose, we were talking all about you. People didn't know you were real or not, and now we know.
I feel like I'm seeing like Bigfoot or like the Loch Ness monster.
I'm sure the moment that in the 2 minutes we have left, we know that Mo Biggs will bring on the. We'll bring it to B-Rose, basically. I have no doubt. We apologize, folks, for giving Francis. He didn't even have to wear a cosplay.
Y'all weren't talking about Francis's shit. You were talking about Riverdale for 20 minutes.
We're pop culture people here. You know what I'm saying?
People like Riverdale.
That's true. That is true. JP, where can people find you? I feel like you're gonna have a ton of new fans. What are people,
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Twitter and Instagram. I do zero comic stuff. So if you want to follow me, you can. Don't expect any comic stuff. But on Twitter, it's JAYYP with 4 E's. And on Instagram, it is JAYY_P with 4 E's. But like I said, there's no comic stuff. So follow everybody else who's here. They're putting out stuff every month or every, couple times a year. So do what you need to. But you can support everybody else.
Well, we support everybody, but we also support you, JP. You know what I'm saying? That's for sure. That's for sure. Moby's saying he sounds. No, that wasn't the one. It is Brittany still owes me a chicken dinner.
Well,
do you remember, B-Rose? You said you'd cook?
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, apparently, according to you, he was at my mom's birthday party eating all the chicken. So I would say he's been served.
He's been served. That is right. That is right. B-Rose, Mo Biggs threw you under the bus, and now Brittany paid you in full for your chicken dinner.
Paid in full.
Paid in full. So what I will say here is that Mo Biggs, he sounds like a Bigfoot or the Loch Ness monster. Maybe if he goes on a diet. That's right. That is right. There's no way to put it, but you get served, B-Rose, and that's what he does. B-Rose comes on these things and he gets served every single time. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for watching. It was fun. Support the community. Make sure you check out Francis and Stokes. And I know Decay is coming out soon, but also make sure I always pop in there when I can. The Twitter space, it's always popping, always something happening. And again, there's just new things every day that comes up, and I think one day we were talking about superhero movies. The next day we were talking about indie comic publishers. Yeah, just random things like that.
And they go on for hours, so you have plenty of time to pop in.
Yeah, that is right. That is right.
They go on for hours. That is correct.
How do you find the time to do this, Stokes? You know what I'm saying? I think people want to know. How do you find the time to do this?
It's easy. I don't have any kids, no girlfriend. I just make comics. You know what I'm saying? So it's like easy, and it helps. It does help build the brand. Like that's the justification I use anyway. Like whenever you're in a Twitter space, you get a lot of followers. It's like, all right, I need more followers for the business. So that's the way I justify it. And you can do other stuff. Like I'm either run a space right now and do the dishes. It's not super intensive,
Right. We're gonna end it with one last word from a special somebody, and it's really just by random. Mo Biggs is saying hail the panel, hail the chat. It's our classic goodbye here, and J. Rod is saying stay single. I do not doubt that words of wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Mo Biggs saying B-Rose, I mostly talked about your chicken habit, but I also plugged the success of Cerebrum. That is right. The last word is going to have to go to JP. Take us out with one word.
One word? Oh, comic books. Indie.
That's 2 words.